WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. A dispute over a vehicle being repossessed leads to a man's death and a woman charged with murder.
Aberdeen police say 31-year-old Lillian Kaysen shot and killed 39-year-old Mose Lee Daniels. Chief Henry Randall says this incident happened last night outside a home at 609 Baptist Road. Investigators say the two knew one another and that it was a heated argument over a vehicle that led to the gunfire. When police got to the scene, Daniels' body was lying outside of the house. Chief Randall calls the shooting senseless and says it could have been avoided.
To me, just about any time you take a person's life based off of he say, she say, or an argument, both family loses, because now you got one in the family that is deceased, and then you got another one that's going to be probably sent off for a long time. You know, and that family, that young lady probably have children, which I'm well aware. I think she does. So now you have to grow up with a child that doesn't have their mother or father involved, and now you got the other side of the family that's lost a loved one.
And Kaysen's bond is set at $150,000.
An argument between two men leaves one with serious injuries and the other charged with assault. 41-year-old Charles Wells Jr. is charged with aggravated assault after he allegedly got into an argument with someone he knew. The altercation between Wells and the victim started as a verbal argument that escalated into a physical one. The victim has injuries from an unknown weapon. Wells' bond is set at $75,000.
Former Lowndes County Deputy Eli Perigin was back in court today, this time on charges of grand larceny. According to Lowndes County investigators, Perigin no longer owns his home in New Hope, but the new owners filed an affidavit against him, alleging he came into the unoccupied home and took items after the house was repossessed. Grand larceny is a felony. Perigin has posted a $2,500 bond.
A Columbus man is accused of a sex crime with a 14-year-old girl. 23-year-old Akeen Colvin is charged with sexual battery. Sheriff Mike Arledge says deputies were called to help Columbus police find the girl who was suspected of being with Colvin. Law enforcement found the girl with him at an apartment on Yorkville Road East. Investigators say the alleged criminal acts happened in Lowndes County. Colvin remains in jail. Time now to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He joins us with a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Enjoying more clouds and sunshine across our area today. Verdant, Tupelo, Columbus, Louisville, that's our Alpha Insurance camera network. We do have some isolated showers across the northern part of the area, but in general, most spots will not see that this evening. Some 70s giving way to some 60s later on, lows tonight down to around 60. You can see upper 50s, low 60s, give or take here tonight. Staying mild southerly breezes for your Thursday back into the 70s. Our best chance for strong to severe storms after 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'm back in just a few minutes with more on that threat.
Well, we have certainly already seen our share of severe weather since late February. Flooding and tornadoes have left behind visible reminders of those storms.
This is causing many homeowners to wonder if they'll start seeing higher insurance costs. Our Riley Livingston sits down with an agent to find out.
Severe storms can leave behind a lasting impression, and it's not just the immediate pain of the damage. There's often a pain in the pocketbook when your next insurance premium comes due.
When Mother Nature strikes, the first thing on many people's minds is dealing with the damage to their homes and property. But what they might not realize is severe weather can strike twice. The second hit, your insurance.
You can have what you call a catastrophic loss, and that's when, in this last pair of storms we had come through, I think we had about 40 claims somewhere around there, and when a catastrophic loss like that happens, you can see rates rise.
And this isn't anything new.
2011 tornadoes, they took a drastic increase after that in Alabama and Mississippi. So definitely the impact of weather can affect premiums.
Even if you aren't directly impacted by the disaster, your rates can still increase, but it may be months before you find out.
We don't know if there's going to be a rate increase until we see a renewal. We can expect it if we see a lot of storms. We can expect it. The carriers are the actual ones that they enforce the they enforce the increase.
It comes down to your carrier. If they get hit hard by multiple claims, increases can be expected.
So you've got a company like Travelers. Travelers would, if they got hit hard in one area, Travelers would therefore take a rate increase, send that to your renewal, and from there we would have to explain. We have the ability to shop or continue with that carrier.
Chris Retz says if there is an extended period where weather isn't a problem, rates can actually decrease.
Well, the president has declared a natural disaster in Alabama. The federal declaration is for severe storms, straight-line winds, tornadoes, and flooding from February 19th to March 20th. This is video from a barn destroyed in the Detroit area of Lamar County on March 14th. Lamar County is included in that disaster declaration along with 9 other counties. EMA Director Luke Otto says there was also a large amount of flooding on dirt roads in Lamar County during that time. Federal funds are available for local governments and nonprofits for emergency work and repair, along with hazard mitigation measures. Well, the 2014 Winston County EF4 twister is the fastest storm recovery response in the history of our state. And the program that helped make that happen could be helping some of Winston County's neighbors.
It's called GIS mapping. It stands for Geographical Information System. Our Jory Talley joins us live in the studio with more on how this works and the difference it can make. Jory?
GIS mapping means everything in the county is mapped and documented with a picture of every structure to go along with it. Winston County benefited 5 years ago from having it, and now it's helping Oktibbeha County with its storm recovery efforts.
More than 600 structures were destroyed or damaged when an EF4 twister dropped in Winston County back in 2014. EMA Director Buddy King says before it hit, county leaders had no idea just how important GIS mapping would be for the county's future.
Golden Triangle had just completed a readdressing and assessment of every property in Winston County. And before the tornado, that information was only 6 months old. So when the tornado hit, we had the ability to go back and take a picture and get geographical information on every home in the county that had been affected by the tornado.
That led to Winston County having the fastest storm recovery response in the state's history.
It was because we had the data. If you don't have it and you need it, it's too late. But we had their information. We had point location addresses for every structure. Everything in the county was mapped, a complete inventory of where everything was located spatially.
Having that data also led to the county knowing the direct impact to its budgets within 24 hours, paperwork completed and filed with MEMA and FEMA in less than 72 hours, and requests for funds processed completely within 28 days.
It was able to generate the recovery documents faster than anybody else because we knew what was missing. We didn't have to search, we didn't have to look, we didn't have to find records. We knew the address of every structure, we knew where it was. All we had to do was add the after photos, and then you've got the document that you need to prove something was there and gone.
That rapid access to the resources to help these people start in the rebuilding process was monumental. People were still in the early stages. They were not as yet frustrated. They were able to continue that hope of rebuilding, and that's evidenced here daily.
Now that same type of data is benefiting Oktibbeha County and its storm recovery efforts.
A lot of trees down, a lot of house roof damage, that kind of stuff. So we're able to produce that same document. And in fact, she was here just a little bit ago picking up that to take it back to FEMA and MEMA to hand it over to show these are the things, the damage that we assess.
Out of the 7 counties, Golden Triangle Planning and Development District services, Lowndes County is the only county without GIS mapping.
All right. Thanks, Jory. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. When you're working with high school students, chemistry is important. Our educator of the week, Dr. Bill Odom, knows how to get a reaction. Odom teaches biochemistry at the Mississippi School for Mathematics and Science. He says the STEM fields can open doors and minds for students interested in a career in science, and he wants his students to be motivated to learn every day.
I want them to love what they do. It's important to try to be happy and enjoy what you're doing for your vocation.
Right.
And do your best. They're bright to begin with, and they want to learn more, and we want to give them more, push them to that edge.
And we want to recognize more teachers. To nominate your favorite teacher, go to our website, wcbi.com.
Juniors and seniors at Shannon High see what the local job market has to offer. More than 20 companies were on hand for the school's first job fair this morning. Some companies are actually hiring for upcoming summer work and internships. Employers say the job fair is an opportunity to let future workers see what's available and what training is needed or offered.
If they're not going to pursue a career or something further along in education, I try and tell them about the things that they can do without going to school and all of the opportunities that construction can offer them.
We would love to hire some younger people just entering the workforce, teach them the home stretch way of doing things, and we're basically just looking for people of good character that are willing to be trained.
WCBI's Quentin Smith and Allie Martin were there to represent the broadcast field.
Up next for tomorrow, line of storms with some lightning potential. You can see that moving across our region during the day. Thursday, Friday, we're at Durham's Pharmacy programming weather radios in the afternoon, 3:30 to 5:30, and in Columbus Saturday morning, 10 until noon. More on that system for tomorrow after the break. Stay tuned.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
One little blip right there between Mayhew and Artesia, all dry now in Starkville. Let's fly on into Sudeth Elementary School. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey was there at the elementary school earlier today. Talking about the tornado dance, as he always does. They talked about the storms we just had this past weekend over in Oktibbeha County. Learned about clouds, lightning, hurricanes, and all things weather. Hello, everybody. We love to see you today. Here's the big picture across North Mississippi. Not a lot of action going on right now, and that has been the exception to the general rule, those isolated showers. There's a little bit of additional moisture in these clouds, but in general, that moisture will likely stay in the clouds overall. The bigger storms erupting back toward west, and that activity is coming our way for tomorrow. A wind threat, a tornado threat on an isolated basis. A little bit of hail can't be ruled out. Also several inches of rain. This would be between about 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. tomorrow afternoon and early evening. Now, the greater tornado potential could actually be across central and southern and southeastern Mississippi on Thursday, but we still have to watch out for some spin-ups around here with some wind energy coming our way. So just stay weather aware once we get past lunch on Thursday. This evening, we don't really expect a few isolated blips or showers out there. Yeah, that's probably about it. Tomorrow morning, cloudy as we start out the day. Some showers and storms back to the west in Arkansas will try to approach, but I think they're going to fall apart before they can do anything significant around here. Now, after lunch, we do expect to see some showers and storms to really get going back down to our west and southwest. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see this big batch of activity swooping on in from the west. And our southeastern areas could actually have a better chance for some of these rotating storms versus the north. But that entire line may produce some areas of rotation that we'll watch out for, in addition to some strong wind, heavy rainfall, and maybe a little bit of hail. Now, we expect that to punch east of our area by 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, so it's not going to be an overnight threat tomorrow. This is primarily going to be a daytime situation for us. Clouds linger on Friday morning into Friday proper, and it looks like we'll have some lingering showers too. So Friday will be a cooler day, breezy, high struggling into the upper 50s. Now, we have a flash flood watch for all of northeast Mississippi for tomorrow. We may squeeze out 1 to 2 or 3 inches of additional rainfall, something we do not need. If we do have tornado warnings in the area tomorrow, you can catch us on the radio simulcast, one of those stations, 103.1 here in the Golden Triangle area. Lows tonight, upper 50s, low 60s, mainly cloudy. Can't rule out a stray shower here. Back into the 70s tomorrow. The best chance for some of those aggressive storms after 2 o'clock. And we'll have a much cooler day on Friday. Look at your AccuWeather 7-day. 58, 40 Friday night. Saturday's mostly sunny, 69, 78 sunny Easter Sunday, and still around 80 early next week.
Bring on the sunshine. A West Point native and basketball star returning home to play college basketball. The details on signing day next in sports.
WCBI First Alert Weather School is brought to you by Emerson Animal Hospital in West Point. WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The man is coming home. Former West Point Green Wave standout Austin Crowley, gone for 2 years, returning to Mississippi. Crowley signing with Ole Miss on National Signing Day. The four-star recruit averaged 15 points per game in his senior year at Sunrise Christian in Kansas and was a McDonald's All-American nominee. Kermit Davis says Crowley will be an instant impact player.
When you take the job at the University of Mississippi, obviously the first thing you think about is trying to sign the very best players in Mississippi. He's the best player in Mississippi. I know he plays in Kansas. Number one, I mean, he's from West Point. He comes from an unbelievable family. I mean, James and Amy are terrific. He's been coached at a high level, not only when he was at West Point, but at Sunrise Christian. And he's really talented. So he's going to have an immediate impact for our team next year.
The top women's basketball prospect in Mississippi is also heading to Oxford. Pearl's Jayla Alexander signing to become a Rebel, averaging 19 points, 7 boards, 7 assists, 6 steals this past year while leading Pearl to a 6A state championship. Head coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen saying Alexander is a key part to rebuilding the Rebels program.
When I took over the job and I got with my staff, we thought it was important to really get the best talent to stay at home. And I think starting with Jayla and a couple other commits we've gotten in future classes, I'm really looking forward to keeping that in-state talent at home.
Big day in Fulton as they welcome back one of their own. Itawamba AHS announcing Anna Porter as its newest girls basketball head coach. Porter leaves Tremont High, where she was the head coach for 3 seasons, leading the Lady Eagles to the playoffs each year, plus a trip to Jackson in 2018. It's been 10 years since Porter played for the Indians, but she looks forward to building her own stomping grounds into a state power.
I'm excited to get started. I have a lot of pride in this school and a lot of pride especially in that gym. I spent many years there, and I'm excited to build this program and to see success. It's all about the kids, and I want to see them succeed on and off the court as well.
Choctaw County has hired Water Valley defensive coordinator Jeff Roberts as the new man to lead the Chargers football program. Joe Coleman of Starkville Daily was the first to report. Roberts spent 6 seasons with the Blue Devils, leading a defense that won the 3A state championship this past fall while giving up only 12 points per game. Some signings from around the area. Starkville Lady Jacket star guard Jaleesa Outlaw is off to play Division I hoops. Outlaw signing with the University of Central Arkansas out of the Southland Conference. The All-State athlete averaged almost 18 points per game this year for Starkville and also leaves behind a state title legacy. Staying in Starkville, on the boys' side, standout Jamarian Brown signing to continue his hoops career at Holmes Community College. Brown was starting games dating back to his sophomore year and posted a career record of 83-10 for the Yellow Jackets, winning the state championship this past fall. New Hope's Ryan McLaughlin signs to continue his baseball career with EMCC. McLaughlin has been sensational for the Trojans this year, batting nearly 400 with 7 home runs and 29 RBIs, leading New Hope to a 17-5 record in their playoff journey beginning on Friday. That does it for sports. The last look at your forecast next.
Some strong storms possible tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll get you through it here. We are storm savvy. You know it, we know it, we'll be fine. Just stay up to date on the weather situation, but nice weather for Easter weekend.
Have multiple ways to get weather alert.
Always good advice.
All right, thanks so much for the